Hi, my name is Elizabeth McGillicuddy, and I chose to do my lab proposal over surveying and monitoring the distribution patterns of Lontra canadensis, which is also known as the North American river otter. And I would survey the North American river otter populations in the central Texas areas. These areas would include the areas surrounding Granger Lake, which include Willis Creek and the San Gabriel River, along with the areas around Walter E. Long Lake, which is also known as Decker Lake. That is the main objective. Some background information on the North American river otter is that they have been spotted more in the central Texas areas, including the areas stated in the previous slide. And this is interesting because they had normally known to be distributed in the North Texas areas along with mostly East Texas areas. But now they're being seen more in Central Texas areas, so it would be good to gain more accurate data. They are also currently listed as a species of concern in Texas, along with a sentinel species, which means they are more susceptible to pollution in their areas. Otter signs such as latrines have also been used to identify their behavioral and spatial patterns. This lab proposal is significant because the North American river otters had previously been extirpated through their geographic ranges, but due to reintroduction, tracking guidelines, and habitat protection, their populations have been reestablished. The monitoring the populations of the North American river otter is challenging because they are crepuscular and they are more elusive. Surveying their distribution would be helpful to gain more accurate data about their population densities that is lacking in the central Texas areas. I expect there to be no significant difference between the distributed otter populations along the surrounding creeks of Granger Lake and of the shorelines of Walter E. Long Lake, also known as Decker Lake. These two maps represent Granger Lake and Walter E. Long Lake, which is also known as Decker Lake, and I would survey up and down the shorelines of Decker Lake along with the Willis Creek unit and around the San Gabriel River, which is on the opposite side of Granger Lake. For my methods, I will use a free kayak from Dr. Huffman's lab at Texas State to survey the areas along Willis Creek as well as the shorelines along Decker Lake. Because they're more active during the morning and in the evenings, that is the time that I will survey, and I will document all of their locations that I spot the otters with my Garmin GPS. I will also take track of the number of holts, which are otter dens, and the amount of latrines I find with the number of piles of spraint, which is otter scat. I will also put out camera traps and hair snares and check them every 2 weeks. Hair snares are useful as a non-invasive sampling technique and are common because they can be used across larger areas. These techniques will be helpful to locate their holts along with gaining presence, absence, and individual data. To further analyze the occurrence, distribution, and presence absence data collected, I will use a chi-squared data analysis test to determine if the otters are evenly distributed between the two different locations based off of individual counts on trail cameras and documented sightings of otters. I will also calculate independent averages and standard deviations of each variable such as their dens, the number of latrines, which is where their scat is located, the number of tracks I find and see, and the number of piles of spraint in each location, which is their scat once again. I will conduct a regression analysis to determine if there is a correlative relationship between the presence, the sightings, of the river otters along with the amount of sign documented to gain better understanding for their distribution. These are my references. Thank you for watching.